top 5 things to avoid as a CrossFit beginner. Boom. Welcome back, Breakfast Club CTG. Today we're going to be going through top 5 things to avoid as a CrossFit beginner. Don't make these mistakes. I'm going to go ahead and get into this workout right now. I'm going to run through this workout, show you guys a little bit of what we're doing in here today, but also giving you these 5 things to avoid when starting CrossFit. And first tip is going to be skipping workouts you hate. As you can tell, the gym's pretty empty. Just 2 days ago or 3 days ago, everyone was in here. There's almost not enough room for people. We almost had to tell people like, hey, you got to do a later class. So number 1 is going to be getting in here every day, not skipping workouts just because you don't like running, just because you hate wall balls, just because you hate the air bike. That's exactly how you're going to get better at those movements. So by doing them more in repetition and practicing, that's what's going to help you improve on those movements, those lifts, and help you get better overall at CrossFit, improve your performance. So number 1, don't skip workouts you don't like. Alright, tip number 2 is don't be a know-it-all. You have to come in here and you have to be coachable. You have to listen to what the coach says. You have to trust the process. This type of training is obviously a lot different than just normal group classes and bodybuilding stuff. So you really have to listen to the coach. You have to trust the programming and you have to implement what they tell you. So don't be a know-it-all and be coachable. Tip number 3, don't try to PR every single lift. There's days where you're gonna come in, you're gonna feel strong, you're gonna feel good, and you're gonna wanna PR. Especially when you're first starting CrossFit, you're gonna hit a lot of PRs. I like to call it the newbie gains. Just like when you first started working out or trying to lose fat, put on muscle, whatever it may be, get stronger. You saw a rapid increase in your progress, which was either losing fat really quickly, getting strong super fast, which is PRing constantly, or just putting on size and muscle right whenever you first start lifting. Those are what I like to call the newbie gains. Same thing happens in here when you first start CrossFit. There's a lot of times where you're gonna feel good, you wanna PR. There's just not gonna be enough time in the class. Also, you just shouldn't go for PRs every class. Some of these workouts are gonna be to find your 10 rep max, are gonna be to build strength, they're gonna be to get you used to pumping out reps under fatigue, that sort of thing. So don't try to be a body hero and try to PR every single time you're in here, especially on different workouts. Obviously, it's good to push yourself, but know the intent behind the workout. So if it's a workout where you're supposed to PR, then by all means go for it, but don't try to PR every workout. After you start getting in here and you've been doing CrossFit for a little longer, obviously those newbie gains are gonna stop. So it's good to get in the habit of knowing that your newbie gains are gonna come to an end, and obviously it's gonna take a lot more work, a lot more programming, and having your diet on point in order to keep hitting PR slowly but sturdy. Obviously not gonna be PRing every day, every week, that sort of thing. Might even go months without PRing. So that's tip number 3. gonna do it for this workout. Just wrapped it up. Tip number 4 is gonna be, don't be gear dependable. By that I mean having to wear Olympic lifting shoes every workout. There's squats, any like power cleans, that sort of thing. Having to wear wrist straps for every single lift, having to wear your knee sleeves for every squat session, back squat session, whatever it is. Don't be gear dependable. There's a time and place for everything. Obviously, if you're working on the mechanics for the Olympic lift, or you're gonna go heavy, but try to train yourself to be able to do these lifts and move well through them without any equipment. Like today, I perform better with my lifters for the pistol squats. I want to improve those. I want to improve that movement. So I just decided to go with my flats, my sport flat shoes, Reebok Nanos. Also for like the strict presses and stuff, not wearing any wrist straps. I normally wear wrist strap for the heavier days. Let's say it's a push press, push jerk, anything overhead, like an overhead squat, which we did 2 days ago. So don't be dependable. Don't be always depending on your gear. I know some people, if they don't have their gear with them, they just won't lift, or like they'll kind of give up and say, oh, this is gonna be a wash. It's gonna be a crappy workout because they don't have the gear. The gear does not make you, man. There's some people out there that are doing all these workouts, crushing them, even lifting super heavy weight without any gear, or they train purposely without gear. So don't always depend on your gear. Train yourself to be able to move well throughout every movement without any gear, just so you're ready for everything. Train for everything, ready for anything. That includes not being dependable on your gear. Yeah. Bonus tip, there are a few pieces of equipment that are non-negotiable. I think everyone should get them before even going into the CrossFit gym, maybe after like your trial session that you're like, okay, I like this is what I'm gonna do. First piece of equipment, flat pair of shoes. I have a ton of Nike Metcons. These are the Nano 8. Why are these non-negotiable? If you just look at the bottoms, super flat. You can stomp, they're super stable. So as I was saying, they're flat, they're super stable. Before getting into CrossFit, I used to lift in Vans just because those were another shoe that were super flat and they look good. These are those types of shoes. If you go with Reeboks, if you go with Nike or Noble, tons of different brands, but I recommend getting a shoe that's flat. That way you have that stability for all the movements. It definitely helps in here. The next piece, and probably most crucial piece, is a jump rope. Having your own personal jump rope that fits you is going to be crucial, especially because there's a ton of workouts where we either use it in the warm-up or the actual workout, whether that be just normal jump rope, single unders, or double unders as you learn and progress through those. A ton of different lengths, a ton of different rope weights. There's a ton of different grips, materials such as metal handles, plastic handles, tennis racket type handles. There's a ton of different weights for the ropes for different intents, different workouts. There's also a ton of different, whether you like bare cable or the coated cables for durability. But the most important thing has to be what grip you like and the rope length. So whenever you get a jump rope, you're gonna measure it out to either your nipple height or the armpit height. And obviously that's gonna determine it not being too long and also not being too short. If you just use a regular class jump rope, one day you might come in not know how to jump rope or trip up on everything. Next day you might come in and you know how to do double unders super fast, super well. 2 days down the road you come in again and you can't even get a single under. So get your own jump rope, get used to it, get used to working out with it, break it in, because you're gonna need it. So if there's probably 2 pieces of equipment that you absolutely need for CrossFit, it's gonna be flat shoes and your own jump rope. That's a little bonus tip for you there. So the 5th and last mistake to avoid is worrying about the leaderboard or leaderboarding. When you first get in here, You're gonna get competitive. If you're a naturally competitive person, you're gonna wanna compete with everyone, you're gonna wanna go faster, you're gonna wanna push the most weight. But when you first start, that's gonna be a big mistake, because you wanna get the foundations down, you wanna be able to get the movement and technique down. So moving well throughout the movements, dropping your ego, going low weight, even high rep if you have to, or just no weight at all and stay after class and just practice either going through the movement or just different points in the movement, like let's say a back squat, chilling in the hole for a while, maybe like a minute to 2 minutes, just sitting there getting used to it, maybe doing tempo squats, that sort of thing. But avoiding the leaderboarding egotistical side of things when you first start is going to be crucial, especially because it's going to take away from you in your workouts. So don't let the leaderboard scores take away from you being able to get the techniques down, from you being able to get a good workout in, and also just probably feeling down on yourself because you're not where other people in your blocks are. You're just now starting. So those are the 5 tips to avoid. Don't be a leaderboarder. Don't be a leaderboarder. There's gonna be a time and place for that. Once you get down the movements, the techniques, and you're able to move well, then you can go ahead and, you know, pay attention to that leaderboard, kick butt in your gym. Obviously, go for the top spot. I'm not saying don't compete and don't aim to be your best, but wait a little bit, you know, get the foundations and the movements down, and don't let it affect your mood, your happiness, that whole sort of thing. Anyways, that's been 5 mistakes to avoid when starting CrossFit. As always, if you like this video, go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe. Go over to Instagram, follow me there, shots_G. Let me know you came from YouTube. And for any online training and nutrition coaching, hit the description and apply. Love to help you out. I'll see you guys next video. Breakfast Club CTG, we out to speed.